All right. Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Anime Core.
Yay.
I feel like we need some sound effects in there.
I know. Well, I was going to say, we did debate over the name Hashiras and Hokages. So, since this is the first episode, it's still up for grabs.
I feel like it's tough to change at this point. But if you like Hashiras and Hokages more, let us know, just to prove that I was right.
Hey, I still came up with that name.
Anyways, my name is Jeremiah.
I'm Megan.
And we will be your hosts for this podcast / YouTube series. If you're listening on Spotify or wherever you guys get your podcasts, check us out on YouTube. I know people always debate of what's the face to the voice, so you can answer that right away and see what we look like.
You might not like your answer, but it's okay.
And if you're watching on YouTube and you're driving to work, don't watch it on YouTube. Listen to it on a podcast place. And then watch it on YouTube later. But anyways, we started up this podcast, very first episode, like I said. Do you want to share a little bit about why we're doing this?
Yeah.
Because everyone has podcasts these days.
Everyone does have podcasts these days. We are joining the trend. I don't know how I feel about that, but we do talk about anime all the time.
Constantly.
So we thought, why not share that with other people? Why not, join that community and bring in a community and just share our thoughts because, like I said, we talk about it literally all the time. This is just a more formal way of having the conversation, having maybe a few disagreements, and having our cat visit us because we love her. This is Sylvie, and she will most likely be joining every episode if you're on YouTube. Oh, she's saying hi. Oh, oh, baby.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things we want to do is is just create a community, a space for people to learn about niche anime. Megan loves her niche anime and sharing them. Mm-hmm. A space for conversations about anime, what you love, what you hate, and lots of debates. I feel like the best part about anime is all the debates. So
I think at this point, Sylvie might be the favorite host already.
She'll be a reoccurring guest for sure.
100%.
I figured we should start with just sharing a little bit about ourselves and our anime journeys. Do we want to go top 3 anime?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I do not have a top 3. I have a top 2 and then a top 3 that's 3 anime.
Okay. Do you want to go top 5?
Can you do that?
I can pull 5 anime out.
Okay, I'll let you think. I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead and knock it out.
Because I'm more of a newbie to anime. So I got into anime when we started dating, which was a few years ago. So you introduced me to Avatar: The Last Airbender featuring Avatar Aang. Avatar Aang, everyone's favorite avatar.
I will say, side note, if you're trying to get someone into anime, Avatar: The Last Airbender is a great place to start.
Yes. We'll say, have them watch the show, not the movie.
The movie's fantastic, but
we don't mention it, even though I just did.
A good point, though, is you did grow up on, like, Looney Tunes and Scooby-Doo.
Oh, yeah.
So you grew up on
They were
cartoons.
my jam.
And then I was like, oh, here's adult cartoons.
And I was like, oh my gosh. What is this? So Avatar will always have a special place in my heart because of that. It was like my first anime.
Yeah.
But I will say it's not in my top. Maybe it should be. Oh no.
You already said 5. We're sticking 5.
Okay. Okay. I can do it. So I think I'll go from 3 and then go up to my number 1. I feel like that builds suspense a little bit more.
Okay, so the 3 that are tied at
bottom. 3,
okay.
Yep. Not at the bottom.
The bottom. They're the worst.
Gosh. How dare you? How dare you say that when you just started Apothecary Diaries, which is in fact one of those animes.
Yeah.
It's great. I love the Apothecary Diaries. It's so cozy. Political intrigue. Mao Mao's a queen. Like, you cannot hate her. She's phenomenal.
So I'm guessing Apothecary Diaries is one of those 3 then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The other one is Spy Family.
You did get me to that one, and I do like
Spy Family is just so cute, and I love it. And I do need to catch up on the manga. That's on me.
You got my dad into Spy Family.
Yeah.
And my dad is the type that, like, if it's an anime he likes, it's like you could show it to anybody.
Yeah.
And they'll probably be into it.
So there's that one. And then my other one is Hunter x Hunter. I'm wearing my Killua shirt today.
Hunter, classic.
So I can't not mention Hunter x Hunter.
Yep.
Love it.
Right, so your worst three.
Okay, well, that's mean. Especially since you are now an Apothecary Diaries fan.
I don't know, a fan.
Okay, well, whatever. Okay, number 2. This is for my niche people out there. Seventh Time Loop. I think I've watched it 3 times now, and I have all of the light novels on my Kindle, and I love them.
Seventh Time Loop as number 2?
Yeah.
I figured that'd be your number 1, if I'm being honest. You like...
I do love Seventh Time Loop, but it doesn't give me the high that... Oh, maybe it does.
I was gonna say, you've like watched it and read it quite a bit.
I have. And actually, I do want to add that the whole purpose of this podcast is to advocate for a Seventh Time Loop Season 2. So if you are a Seventh Time Loop fan, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. Ayo.
It's such a good one. For Seventh Time Loop in the comments, please.
Yeah, it's such a good one. And like, yeah. I just hate that, like, some of these niche ones, they get, like, 1 season.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, like, it didn't perform as well, and now it's canceled.
Is there more
like,
to Seventh Time Loop than what they've shown then?
Yeah. I think that one's just light novel. Maybe light novel 1 and 2.
Out of
7. I think there's... Yeah. 6 right now. There is another one coming out in I think it's January of 2026. I think. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
There is another one coming out.
So there's plenty of content.
There's so much content, and it's such a good one. And I know I tell you this often. The female lead is one of the best female leads I've seen. Like, obviously, she's regressed 7 times, so she has some base knowledge to help her.
Naturally,
she gets her bag in her 7th time loop. Because of all like the knowledge that she's gained over the years.
Okay.
And then the male lead is just like, I'd say Black Cat energy. You don't think that he's a green flag at first, but he's such a green flag. So he's just so nice.
For those listening and watching, it is a niche anime.
It is a niche anime.
What would you be like if you were to say, like, if you like this, you'll like this?
Well, it's hard because if you like this niche anime, you'll also like this niche anime.
Right, but from what you know of, like, popular animes, what would you compare it to if you could?
It's a good question. I mean, if you like any sort of manhwa, like any sort of like isekai manhwa, not isekai.
So like if you're into like solo leveling, you'll be.
Oh, haha. Oh, you're right. I was like, if you're into the manhwa that I like, you like Seventh Time Loop, which I do like.
But it is like a fantasy, like low fantasy kind of then, from my understanding.
Yeah, it's low fantasy because I think there's some magic, but not like a lot.
Okay.
Oh, I need to watch it again.
Yeah.
I just need to watch it again.
So if you're into like castles and stuff like that.
Yeah, or like, I will say I did watch Why Ray Liana Ended Up at the Duke's Mansion, I think before it.
Okay.
So if you like that one, I will say that I think that one's technically more popular because it is dubbed. Seventh Time Loop is completely subbed.
Ooh, okay.
So
you gotta be committed.
You do have to be committed.
It's only one season.
It's only 1 season. I think 12 episodes.
Oh, dude, hammer it out in a weekend.
That's what I did.
Exactly. All right, so that's not number 1 then.
That's not number 1.
What's number 1?
Is this a cliche pick? I don't know. Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer.
But it's not. It should not be a controversial pick because it is a phenomenal anime.
What's crazy is I'm pretty sure a lot of like hardcore anime people hate on Demon Slayer.
See, that's what I've heard.
That's what I've heard. Online, if you guys have a different opinion, feel free to let us know. From my understanding, people who are like hardcore into anime don't like Demon Slayer because it's what like the basic fans like. Like, it's kind of like what like Naruto was back in the day, where it's like, oh, everyone watches Naruto. You're not an anime fan because you say you watch Demon Slayer.
But here's the thing, I can't say I blame everyone for watching Demon Slayer.
But it's like, is that the mark of like a solid like anime / manga? Is it something that anybody can watch and it's a huge thing?
Right, but then, I mean, we can also get to this conversation later, but you're bringing up Solo Leveling, which is a little controversial for being, like, the best anime or whatever. Yeah, we can get to that later. That's a whole nother conversation. But Demon Slayer is just so good. Because
I don't think you could not have it on your list.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because every other, like, character who's not, like, a random Demon Slayer patrolling the streets is fleshed out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say, like, in probably like their second or third arc on the anime, like they kill off a main character. Mm-hmm. Something that like Naruto waited like arcs to do.
Yeah.
Before like Jiraiya was like
spoiler.
Spoiler. If you haven't watched Shippuden, you're like 10 years too late.
I haven't.
You're working through it and you know Jiraiya dies because I cry every time I watch it. but like Naruto waited forever to kill off like Jiraiya. And I mean, like, Zabuza dies in, like, the first arc of Naruto. He's a villain. He's not someone that, like... It's not a... It's a death that impacts...
Is that Kakashi's friend?
No.
Oh.
It's a death that impacts the main character. Kind of similar to, like, the death that impacts Tanjiro and his group.
Yeah.
But it's, like... The way that Demon Slayer did it was, like... They're like, here's this character.
You're bawling.
And you're like, cool. And then they're like, that character's dead. And you're like, why?
But I just met him.
And the worst part about it was, like, the arc after that, they'd be like, here's this character. And you're like, wait.
You're like, no.
Don't kill him, please.
Please
and they would do that for every arc.
Right.
Until we get to Infinity Castle, with the movie coming out this year.
Exciting.
And I'm terrified for what could happen.
I'm so scared.
We're refusing to read the manga because we want to go into it.
That, which might be also a controversial take. I think I will read the manga.
I read the manga after.
Once it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Because I do want to experience Infinity Castle.
Yeah.
For the first time, like, in theaters. Like, I don't want to know what happens. And I'm sure, like, the manhwa art is just amazing for it. Yeah. And completely respect that. And I don't know if that's a fake fan type of thing. But I will get to the manga eventually. But since I watched the anime first, I'm like, I kind of want to get through this and like see it on the screen.
It's one of the
and like
best animated stuff I've ever seen. Like,
and just like hear the voice actors do their thing. It's exciting.
It to life for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, since we're talking about Demon Slayer is my number 2 pick, I'd say.
Okay.
My number 1, Naruto. Some of my history with anime, I got started. I grew up watching.
Wait, what's your number 3?
I'll get there. I don't even know 4 and 5 yet, so like I'm.
Yeah.
I grew up watching like random animes on like TV, like Dragon Ball Z Beyond or like random stuff, and I'd watch it like every now and then. I wasn't ever like really into it, and then college, I was working through Naruto Shippuden alone, which is a brutal task if like you know nothing about it and you're just like, I don't like any of this. Because like there's parts of Shippuden where you're just like, especially like with Naruto, forget Shippuden, just Naruto in general is hard to watch alone. If you don't have someone to watch it with.
As someone who just watched Naruto, it is extremely hard to watch, and I was like, yo.
You need someone to be like, to hype you up through it.
Why does everyone like this boy Sasuke?
Sasuke's horrible. So I had a friend in college that helped me get through Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, and we finished it, and I was like, this is peak. I was like, this is amazing. And so Naruto will always be number 1 for me. Both in terms of like nostalgia, but also like as like you and I are watching it because you've never seen it, I'm like remembering why I love Naruto so much, and I'm like, this is such a good show. And so Naruto's my number 1. Demon Slayer number 2 for all the reasons you gave. You know, just gorgeous. The fight's gorgeous. The characters.
I forgot how beautiful like the actual like anime is.
Yeah, and I mean you get some of the best like boss fights you see in anime.
Nice.
I
would also add with Demon Slayer, it gets to the point where like they finish the fight with like, what is it, upper 5? And I'm like, do I feel bad for these demons?
That's true. The good thing about like Demon Slayer is there's no real villains except maybe like Muzan.
I mean, not all the demons are like great.
Yeah, that we know of. I mean, when they die, they're always like, I just wanted a friend. And you're like, dang,
Fair.
bro. You went about it the wrong way, but...
Yeah. I don't know.
So that's number 2 for me. Number 3 would be Hunter x Hunter. Mainly because I got into Naruto.
Mm-hmm.
It was big. And like I said, Naruto's kind of like Demon Slayer, where it's like, you're not a real fan if you like Naruto, especially back then.
Yeah.
And then I watched Hunter x Hunter afterwards, and I was like, whoa, this is phenomenal. This is such a good show.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because Killua Zoldyck carries that show on his back.
Killua does carry Hunter x Hunter. And so...
And his fashion choices.
Hunter x Hunter is not like a super popular anime. It's like a smaller community. And so to get into that, like especially after Naruto, I was like, okay, I think I'm in it. I think like I'm in anime now. Like I'm into anime now.
Yeah. But are you a big enough fan to do the Hunter x Hunter challenge taking place in DC later?
God, I don't think it's anything to being a big enough fan. I think I'm just out of shape.
I couldn't do the run.
I think you have to pay for it too, and it's
Yeah.
like a 7-mile run or something.
Yeah, I think is it 7?
I
swear it was like more.
There's some anime content creators out there that are like planning to do it.
I mean, props to them. Like
So,
that's
like,
cool.
If I knew their names off the top of my head, I follow a few of them, but like, shout out to them. Go check their stuff out. They're great content creators, and I'm sure they'll do a lot of stuff on the race, which would be so much fun to watch. So I'll be watching, but I'm definitely not gonna...
Yeah, I want to see how it pans out.
It sounds cool. I mean, I'm surprised it took this long for them to do anything with it.
That's fair. It is. I mean,
I'm
but
hoping it's a promotion for the anime to come back.
that'd be really great. I would love that.
But yeah, that's number 3 for me. I kept talking, hoping 4 and 5 would pop in my head.
No.
4, One Piece, for sure. I'm reading the manga. I'm caught up on the anime. Everything is just so peak right now. I'd say if you're not into One Piece, get into it. But it's 1,000 chapters and episodes. I'd say, like, watch One Piece, and this is going to sound insane. Watch the first 40 episodes.
Oh my gosh.
It's a huge
just watch One Piece in a weekend.
But
it's like
I will
some
say,
time loop.
if you're one of the people who are like, I want to be a part of this movement, I want to be a part of like what One Piece is doing.
Yeah.
And by the end of like the Alabasta arc, if you're just like, I still don't know what people see in this, you're not going to get into it.
Yeah.
So much happens in Alabasta where that's really where we first see like Luffy and like what he stands for and why he fights.
Yeah.
And if the end of Alabasta doesn't have you hyped for like the Straw Hats and Luffy and stuff, I don't think anything will.
So alternatively, because you did this with me to try to get me into One Piece, would you recommend the live action?
The live action? Yeah, okay. So, yes, with a warning. The live action is definitely a streamlined version because you get through a lot of like stuff.
Yeah.
Right away.
Hi, buddy.
So I'd say
You want to come down here?
watch the live action, but be aware that like it's gonna be goofy and corny and cartoony because One Piece is all those things.
Yeah.
And you can't do a live action without continuing that. I'll let you know when they like are recruiting one of the members that the villain for that little like small arc, the like syrup village arc or whatever, the villain is like a cat guy.
Nice.
He like his crew wears kitten ears, and he puts on like these like fake paws that have knives in them.
That feels a little kinky.
It's super weird. It's super weird, and like you're gonna watch it as a new fan. There's a new like viewer, and be like, "This is insane.
Yeah.
This is weird." I don't know if it doesn't get weirder from there because there's some weird parts, but like it is a warning. So if you are like wanting to dip a toe in and don't want to commit to 40 or so episodes, the live action as far as like anime to live action goes, it's one of the best.
Really?
Which isn't saying a lot because anime to live action is the
Fair.
bar is very low.
Fair.
Cowboy Bebop was a travesty and will never be talked about. But yeah, I mean, the live action could be a good way to test the waters for sure. No pun intended, I guess. Shoot, number 5.
What have you watched? List them.
I'm trying to think of all the anime I've watched. I don't know.
You started JoJo's.
I did start JoJo's. JoJo's was really good.
We watched Solo Leveling together.
I'm trying to think of like anime that I've like finished or caught up on.
Yeah.
Okay. Easy. My Hero Academia.
Oh yeah. You love that one.
My Hero. I caught up to My Hero when like season 7 or whatever caught up, and so it's been a while since I've watched it. Mm-hmm. And My Hero Vigilantes is out, and we're gonna talk about it. I love My Hero.
I mean, yeah.
I love My Hero for what it is, of a superhero show. And especially like now at a time where we're getting a ton of superhero content with like The Boys, Invincible,
To Be Hero X,
your Marvel and DC stuff that keeps dropping. Like it's like, I feel like the biggest we've seen superhero stuff. My Hero adds something to like the conversation that's not like there yet. Right?
Yeah.
Like we have The Boys, where it's like a dark superhero stuff.
Yeah.
We have Marvel and DC that we always have. We have Invincible, which is more like alien and like morally gray stuff. But like My Hero is cool because it's like, okay, what if like the superheroes are students learning to be superheroes? And I grew up on the movie Sky High. Did you ever watch Sky High?
No.
Okay, I think we own it. We'll have to watch it. I grew up on Sky High, which if you don't know about it, if you're too young and I'm just sounding super old, it's
You're 25.
It's literally My Hero live action. It's a high school for superheroes, and so when I watched My Hero was kind of slow to get into, but if you like superheroes, you'll like it. And then if you stick through to where we're at now in the final war arc, it pays off so well. I've got a cousin who is caught up on My Hero, and he's not big into anime, and he loves it.
Yeah.
And so I will say My Hero will probably be my number 5.
That's great.
I don't have niche animes like you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get into niche animes.
I'll get you there.
You'll get into it.
But for the listeners out there, if you notice, our top 5 is very, very different. And that is probably what you'll expect from us, right? Because One Piece and My Hero aren't really my thing.
Right.
So I will, be talking about the ones like Moriarty the Patriot. Just want to shout out that one. High Card, I think I'm halfway through season 1.
Yeah.
If you're a James Bond fan.
Okay.
High Card, James Bond, and Now You See Me. It's like a mix.
I think it's funny because it's like, I'll probably be talking about the more like popular animes, while you'll have the more underground ones.
I'll be like, oh my gosh, like, Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian.
Which is ironic,
Let's talk about it.
It's ironic because it's like, I'm the one that got you into it.
Yeah.
And I'd say you're way deeper than I am.
Yeah. I like my one-offs. I really, really do.
But yeah, so that's a little bit about us. A little bit about the kind of animes we like, which I think tells a lot about a person.
Oh, no.
So yeah, like we said, we want to build a community here. We want to talk about anime and invite you guys in the conversation. And so please don't ever hesitate to comment and tell us how wrong we are about our opinions.
They are opinions.
We'll tell you how wrong you are, but that's okay. But yeah, a brief little overview of kind of what we want to do with each episode. We'll do a little introduction probably each week. Share a little bit more about us, maybe what we're watching at the moment or something. We will have a segment on weekly anime. Spring anime just kicked off, so there's plenty to talk about and watch. But at the same time, we're working through Naruto Shippuden for the first time for you. We've been watching Black Clover and trying to catch up.
Yep.
And so introduction, we'll probably talk about like some random stuff that we're watching. Like you said, I'm getting into JoJo's, and so there's a lot to talk about. We'll talk about weekly anime, what we're watching that's coming out. If there's weekly anime that you guys would recommend that's coming out, we'd love to get into it.
Oh, yeah.
Especially Megan, who's into the niche stuff.
100%. Not like, don't give like weird ones.
Don't give weird ones. If there's something that came to mind, you know who you are. If you don't know what we're talking about, you're fine.
Because listen, I like Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian, and why Raeliana ended up at the Duke's mansion. But like anything beyond that, I think that's where I kind of draw the line.
But Yakuza Fiancé is fine.
Oh, I forgot that I watched that one. You know what? I also read the manga for that one.
So just shoot your shot. We'll see if we like
Listen, it got popular. I think I watched it for like the novelty because I was like, I saw it and I was like, I need to know.
Check it out.
I need to know. So, in my defense.
So yeah, and then we'll cover anime news for the week. 7 days is a long time, and I feel like anime is
A lot of
like,
anime.
as big as it is right now. So like, there's plenty of news to talk about. So hopefully we can be your, premier spot for anime news. If you get your anime news elsewhere, stop and just start listening to us.
No, because we're probably reporting it a little bit late.
We're probably not top.
Okay, so if you get your anime news somewhere else, that's cool and all. You can skip this segment.
You just skip the segment. We'll bookend it so you know.
Yeah.
And then we'll typically have like one or two other topics for the week that we'll discuss. For this week, just to let you know, we'll be talking about the Devil May Cry anime that just came out on Netflix. Kind of under like the radar for a lot of people, so we're excited to talk about that.
I don't know. It was on WWE.
Oh yeah,
Remember?
but that's okay. We'll get there. And then the last segment we'll do this week is Hashira ranking.
I got my number 1.
We'll rank the Hashira 1 through, I don't even know how many we have on the list. There's so many Hashira. But we'll rank them. And no ties. We gotta, there's gonna be a hierarchy.
Hey, I have my number 1, I have my number 2, and that's really all I need.
So stick around for a sec, and we'll be right back to get into some weekly anime news. Alright, and we are back to episode 1 of
Do we need to get like one of those signs?
Anime Core.
You know, like the movie signs, like
The clackers?
Back. Yeah.
That'd be cool. Alright, scrap first episode. We're not doing this. Canceled. Yep. We got to get everything we need for it.
Yep. I need my little like calcifer light. You can get in a Kotsky
That is true.
robe.
We need to get a P.O. box in case people want to send us stuff.
Oh no.
Because we could have this whole desk just fitted out.
Yeah. Can I put my wish list? I'm just kidding. That's so terrible. Cut that out.
All right. So anime news of the week. This should be news from what week is this, man? All right. This should be everything that we've got covered from April 20th to April 26th.
So you might have heard some of this already.
Yeah, so you probably
That's
have heard
okay.
a decent amount of this. But maybe you didn't, and maybe this is going to be very exciting for you. To kick it off, though, big news is the Boruto anime is returning. It's been officially confirmed.
Yay.
Boruto, Naruto, Next Generation.
I saw like, I think you sent me that Boruto post earlier today or something. Did you send me a Boruto post? Maybe I stumbled upon it.
It was a fight.
Yeah, you sent me that one. One of the comments was like, they should do an anime about Boruto's dad. I was like,
yeah, it was the fight between it was Naruto and Sasuke versus like one of the Kaguya members. I don't remember. I read the Boruto manga up till like I caught up to it. And then before they did Blue Vortex, which Blue Vortex is like Shippuden. It's the part 2 version. It's the time skip. So I caught up, and then I was excited for Blue Vortex. But then it's one of those things where it's like they're dropping like once a month. And I like read the first chapter, read the second chapter, and then totally forgot about the third. And then it's just like
fair.
A month goes by, and you just forget about it. And so I think the anime is roughly on chapter 67. There's a 97 total chapters between Boruto and Blue Vortex. I want to say part 1 is like 90. No, it's like 80 or so chapters. So there's still like some of part 1 they need to deal with. But I mean, it's huge news. I mean, Boruto fans have been waiting on the anime to come back for a minute. I think it's the same studio that does Black Clover.
Okay.
And so...
Is that why it's delayed?
Yeah, because Black Clover's been huge right now. And so... Boruto will be coming back, the anime. I don't know if the manga's... I don't know if Blue Vortex is on hiatus, but it might be, so... Other news, we've got JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7 expected to release in 2027 or beyond. Production started just recently. I know 2027 seems like so far away, but Part 7 for JoJo fans out there is the Steel Ball Run arc, and like I've kind of been getting into JoJo's, and everything I've heard about it is Steel Ball Run is the best. It's peak.
Oh. Maybe
I
should start watching.
Right. And so...
Because JoJo's, each season's an anthology, right?
Yeah. So the way that JoJo's is structured is it tells the story of the Joestar family throughout
Right.
like the ages. And so season 1 is like 1860 something, I think.
Cool.
And it's about Joseph Joestar, also known as JoJo. And it's kind of like Supernatural.
Okay.
If Supernatural lasted over like centuries long. Because each season they're like fighting some sort of like supernatural entity or something.
I mean, to be fair, it did feel like Supernatural lasted for centuries.
You shouldn't have, but
Here we are.
But yeah, so JoJo's. I mean, the first season's like vampires, so it's way
Okay.
different than I thought it'd be. I started watching, and I was like,
Interesting.
"Whoa, these are some bizarre adventures."
Cut that out too.
So yeah, so it's an anthology. I don't think it's the type though like Black Mirror, where you can be like, I just want to watch this episode.
yeah,
Then this
yeah.
episode, like
That
you
makes sense.
could probably do that, but some characters are reoccurring, and I think it's just better to watch it front to back.
That's cool, though.
Yeah, so Steel Ball Run will be getting its season. It's going to be a bit of a wait, but it should be worth it, hopefully, because it's going to be such a good arc.
All right. Backstabbed in a backwater dungeon, my trusted companions tried to kill me, but thanks to a gift of unlimited gacha, I got level 9,999 friends and am out for revenge on my former party members in the world. Airs in October. That was all one title. It sounds like a phenomenal D&D campaign. So
True.
we should definitely watch it. Like, what a fun title. Like,
Do we-
hey, Jeremiah, like, what are you watching? Oh, I'm watching Backstabbed in a Backwater Dungeon.
Do we, like... There's a lot of controversy about this anime.
Oh, there is? I didn't know that.
Because of the name. Because, like, there's a thing in anime where you have, like, I died and become this... Or, like, my dungeon party left me behind, and now I am the sole artificer of the demon's army. Like, there's anime with, like, long titles. It's a thing, right? And it's something that, like, I think we've always laughed about and we've enjoyed.
Yeah.
And it's been fun.
Like, we will scroll through Crunchyroll.
Right.
Just looking
and I think
at
like
some anime
we as like
names.
the anime community, we think it's funny, right? But this one has sparked a lot of stuff because people are like, "All right,
It's a bit much.
all right, guys, let's tone it down a little
Yeah.
bit. It's getting a bit much." So, do we think like a name like this is just too much, or
That's
is
a
it
good question.
enjoyable?
Do we know, and sorry for being so ignorant on this anime podcast, but was this originally a manga?
I don't know. We can look it up.
Because I think, like, I don't care, honestly. Like, we think it's a little funny, right? But I think scrolling through, I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, that anime honestly sounds so fun because of the title.
I think it's a novel series.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like it's books. It's the same title. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, it might be a manga.
Okay. I mean, usually,
Usually it'll
It
get
goes
both, like a
light
light
novel.
novel and a manga.
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that's the full name.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the first book. The issue with the title is it's so long that like when it says like part 1 or something, it's so you can't see it. But whatever this one was, it came out. This manga, it looks like, came out December 27th of 2022. So it's not like it's like a super old one. Yeah, I mean, to each their own.
Yeah.
And I think it's fun. It's going to be known as Backstabbed in a Backwater Dungeon.
Yeah.
I'm sure fans of it call it that. I'm sure whenever people discuss it, it'll be called that. I think it's hilarious to have the whole synopsis.
Like a paragraph.
in the,
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't have strong feelings.
Yeah. We'll
like I
watch
said,
it and
I
let
think
you
it's
know,
fun.
I guess.
Yeah. Moving on though, Kingdom season 6 airs in October. We're getting a lot of good anime in the fall. I
Yeah.
think because Spy Family also comes back in the fall,
Right, yeah.
which I'm personally very excited for. I think there's some other like pretty big ones.
It feels like we're getting a lot of like niche anime this fall.
Yeah. But Kingdom comes back in October. Is it Studio Pierrot?
I think it's Perot, yeah.
And Signpost are producing it.
Which Perot, I believe, does Boruto and Black Clover.
Oh, dang.
So this is another one that.
So it's just deprioritizing Black Clover for me. It's okay.
But I think the Black Clover manga it was on hiatus or something, and it's just now getting back into it.
Yeah.
And then I think it's wrapping up soon.
Oh.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Black Clover is working, like taking a break so that they can give it a good finale.
Isn't Black Clover like been on a break?
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
the anime, I wonder if like they're gonna prioritize other stuff so that when they get back to like kind of like what they did with One Piece, where they gave it a huge break so people don't get burnt out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about Kingdom.
Hey, buddy.
I've heard like it's good. People talk about it. It seems like it's like it kind of, from what I saw about it, it reminded me of The Last Kingdom.
Really?
Of that style of fantasy.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Vikings.
Never watched it, so I mean maybe I'm wrong, but
Yeah.
yeah, people seem to like it. So.
Okay.
Ken Wakui, he's the author for Tokyo Revengers. Has a new manga called Astro Royale.
Getting attacked by a cat.
And it has been discontinued after chapter 50.
Oh.
Did you watch Tokyo Revengers?
No.
No, Windbreaker.
I started Windbreaker.
I think Tokyo Revengers and Windbreaker are the same. I might get hate comments for this, but I think they're very similar. Not the same, but similar. The cat's blocking me because of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel bad. Astro Royale got discontinued after chapter 50.
Dang.
Shout out my Astro Royale fans who are heartbroken.
Yeah.
If you exist. It sounds like you don't possibly exist.
I'm sure there's some.
So...
If there's fans of Seventh Time Loop.
I know Tokyo Revengers is a big one, so it was sad to
Right.
see that like his next project wasn't big. So I'm sure that's hard, like as an artist, to go from a big thing and then have a flop after that.
Yeah.
To Your Eternity, season 3 airs October. The manga will finish with volume 25. When I saw this, it reminded me of you for some reason. It sounds like something you'd check out or watch. I don't know if you've ever heard of To Your Eternity.
Let me double check my Crunchyroll saved.
It might be in your save.
To Your Eternity.
There's a white-haired main character.
Okay, why are you bringing that up?
More about us. Megan is obsessed with white-haired main characters.
It's not my fault. They're all OP. Okay. It's literally not my fault. Crunchyroll has to update. Hang on.
Oh, okay. It's a shonen manga, shonen jump manga, which
Interesting.
is cool.
Oh my gosh, I have to re-sign in. Okay, sorry, I'm not that.
Okay, so we won't look that up then.
Let me get it on my phone.
Well, here, I got the synopsis.
Okay.
To Your Eternity tells the story of an immortal being, Fushi, who journeys across the earth, experiencing life and death while developing his own emotions and understanding of the world. He can transform into the form of anything he's in contact with, primarily based on the strongest impulse he senses. The story follows Fushi's experiences as he encounters humans and other beings, learning about love, loss, and the meaning of existence, while facing the threat of a mysterious enemy called Knockers.
No, I don't have it on my saved.
So, it sounds interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
It sounds like something you might enjoy. Well, with the white-haired main character and everything.
Okay. Solo leveling. This is an interesting conversation. For a multitude of reasons. And I have my own reasons. First anime to hit 750,000 reviews, beating One Piece.
Insane. It beat One Piece by quite a bit, too.
Right. And there's talks of a possible movie coming out, which...
Well, there's not... So it's not talks of a possible movie. The producer said, like... What was the quote? It was like... I think the quote was like, huge fucking news soon, or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, super hyped. It was...
Interesting.
Insane.
Interesting.
People are thinking it's going to be a movie, because what else would you do for it? A video game would be cool, but would a video game of solo leveling just be a standard, or would it be Final Fantasy?
Yeah.
So they've done movies in the past. They did a movie for season 2. It was a recap of season 1 and then the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So they've done movies before. The show's getting to a point where you could almost do a movie for each arc, because they're getting to be big arcs.
They are.
You know, Jeju could have been a movie.
Yep.
But going to like the reviews thing, it beat One Piece by 100,000 reviews.
That's wild.
So like Solo Leveling is like at the top.
Right.
By itself. Like Kendrick Lamar, no big three, just big me.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of a hot take. That's a hot take of an analogy.
That's just that. I'm just quoting what Kendrick said. Does Solo Leveling deserve this spot?
See, that's where it's interesting to me because I thoroughly enjoyed Solo Leveling. I read the manhwa, which not the full manhwa because, you know, part 2 with his son.
Oh, Ragnarok.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
He is a kid.
He is a kid, but also
Spoiler, he's fertile.
Oh my gosh. But also, like, the true Solo Leveling manhwa doesn't end until, like, what, 300 chapters? Or something
I think
into Ragnarok?
they said that, like, Ragnarok, the first, like, 300 chapters of Ragnarok are all epilogue.
Which is insane. But I
Because they've dropped, like, 50 chapters.
Yeah.
I think. I don't think they've even hit 100.
I don't think they have. I do need to read Ragnarok. I kind of just, like, took a break after Solo Leveling because, I mean, it's...
I wonder if by epilogue they mean, like, he'll be dead, and then it'll solely focus on his kid.
I don't know. I think there's kind of, like, you need to finish it to kind of understand, I guess, but they definitely wrapped up the big happenings in Solo Leveling, but I think there's still, like, stuff to unpack, and so I get why it's, like, a quote-unquote epilogue. My other thing with Solo Leveling is, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really did. Like, the fights are fun. The soundtrack was honestly really good. Yeah. I think I don't know if, like, you can compare Solo Leveling to, like, One Piece or Naruto, because I really think, like, Solo Leveling is kind of its own category of, like, you're not going to get any emotional development. You're not going to get, like, phenomenal, like, characters and, like, stories with them, you know? It's just going to be Genu, and he's going to be fighting, and you are going to get some more plot in there, which I'm really excited for. Yeah. But it's kind of going to, like, continue on that same format, and I think it's good for what it is, and if you like fights, and if you just want, like, a fun anime with fights, Solo Leveling is for you. I don't think it can be compared against Demon Slayer, or, like, again, like Naruto, who has, like, a story that's developing over, like, multiple seasons. Right. And that's not to say Solo Leveling doesn't, because, like I said, more plot points are going to start accumulating, but I just think, like, I think it's in a category of its own.
I think we really saw this with, if you're not caught up on Solo Leveling, this is going to be a brief spoiler. But I think we really saw this when Jinwoo's mom woke up. Yeah. That was review bombed like crazy. Yeah. It was the worst reviewed episode in the anime. People hated it. They, like, thought it was too... Like, there's so much to it. And I think it shows that the majority of Solo Leveling fans are going to be people who just want pure fights. Yep. And just pure, like, kicking butt and no, I guess, worry when it comes. Like, you don't watch Solo Leveling and being like, oh, man.
Is he going to lose?
My main character favorite's going to die. Yeah. Right? Like, I think the Jeju Island raid did good, where it kills off people that you're like, shoot, I forgot that not everyone's immortal. Yeah. But you don't watch Solo Leveling because you want character development. Yeah. You don't watch, like... And I will say that... And this is nothing against Solo Leveling. I enjoy it for what it is, and I'll watch the next season or the movie when it comes out. But I think it's so much easier to just make something that's just pure fights and entertaining, and it tells a story. It does tell a story, but, like, you're not working on, like, complex characters. Right. Exactly. To your credit, you said that, like, Naruto, One Piece is the big comparison, right? One Piece is the one that...
Oh, buddy.
One Piece is the one that is being compared to Solo Leveling, because Solo Leveling dethroned One Piece, right? The thing is One Piece is taking time where it's like, you're not going to get a fight this episode. Right. But it's going to build up for something or
Yeah.
build up a character or tell a story and like it'll pay off,
Yeah.
right? And there was, I think it's One Piece episode like 1,000 115. I don't think it's 1,001. I think it's like 115 or something. It ends in a 15, and it's known as like the best One Piece episode. And it's not because there was a phenomenal fight. It's not because like Luffy did something crazy. It's this episode where a side character is comparing Luffy and his two brothers. I know.
Funny.
Luffy and his two brothers to three major characters from the previous generation. And it's such a hype moment. The music, the speech that she gives,
Yeah.
everything about it is just beautiful. Animation. And it's, you ask a One Piece fan, it's probably their favorite episode. No fight, like nothing like that you'd see in Solo Leveling. Right?
Yeah.
And so Solo Leveling, I don't want to take away from what it's done because it's doing amazing things, and I'm sure it's getting a lot of non-anime fans into anime.
We saw that firsthand.
Yeah, my sister's roommate loved it, and she refuses to play D&D, and she hates anime, and she loved it. And so anything that will get people to appreciate anime and stuff, I love.
Yeah.
So I want to say that.
That's why like I appreciate it for what it is, and to your point about One Piece, like that's why I'm like I don't think it can be compared against it because
numbers are numbers, but I don't think it reflects anything.
I don't think so.
I think it's cool. I think it's amazing that 750,000 reviews. That's almost a million reviews.
No,
which is just absolutely insane.
Right. And I will say, shout out to Solo Leveling for getting me into some dungeon diving manhwa.
Yeah.
I did, in fact, read I Stole the First Ranker's Soul. Great manhwa. After Solo Leveling. I was like, oh, so this is like a whole like subgenre
and I think that's a cool
in
thing
manhwa.
too.
And I didn't realize that.
I think a lot of classic anime fans are getting into manhwa for the first time.
10 out of 10.
Manhwa
Highly recommend.
has been a sleeper as well.
Yeah.
I think Solo Leveling is huge for the culture.
Yeah.
I think it's huge for what it's doing. And I mean, you guys heard my ranking. One Piece is number 4 for me.
Yeah.
So it's on my list. It's not my favorite, but I am a One Piece fan.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It is tough. I think Solo Leveling has it a little easier with.
I agree. Yeah. It's just, I mean, the fight's animation is gorgeous, and we did like agree on some moments are just peak.
Yeah, and not to take away from the author who did create such a beautiful world and like did phenomenal telling a story.
Yeah.
So Solo Leveling is going to be talked about forever. I think it's here to stay.
Yeah.
Which is exciting.
And I'm excited to see like manhwas get love. Just in terms of adaptions, like there's so many good manhwas out there that could be adapted. So I hope it will kick something off.
Yeah.
If you will.
Yeah, it'd be cool if there's more of a spotlight on manhwas to start getting turned into animes.
And maybe I just don't know of like a bunch of manhwa that are turned into animes at this point. I guess probably not the ones that I read.
There's so much stuff out
There's so much stuff. I mean, you get on Webtoon and you're just like, oh my gosh, there's so many options. Okay, but that's enough about Solo Leveling. Not enough about manhwa because I'm a little obsessed. Attack on Titan. Some new movies planned and possible game collabs. How do we feel about Attack on Titan? How do we feel?
We have 5 episodes left.
5
episodes left from like we had to watch Attack on Titan. It's a big anime.
I feel like we should do a disclaimer of like we didn't like it that much.
I would give Attack on Titan a 5 out of 10. I think everything bad about it keeps it from being great. You know?
Because there's
everything great about it keeps it from being bad.
Right.
So I think it's just a right down the middle 5 out of 10.
Yeah. Before we watched it, I would get so many reels about Levi. And I'm like, oh, like...
They were right, though.
They were so right. I watched it, and I was like, okay, I get it. Yeah. I so get it.
Yeah, I think... And we need to go back and finish it. Like I said, we were like 5 episodes left. And this was from... When did we go to your... Like, September? No.
Was it Thanksgiving?
When was the last time we went to your parents?
It was Thanksgiving, right?
Was it?
Yeah, we did Thanksgiving.
So November? We have not watched any Attack on Titan in the new year. And we are about to hit May. We need to finish it. It's good. I'd say like it's hard to get into. Maybe if you love it, you love it. I don't want to take away from that.
Yeah.
But once you get like the secrets being revealed and like the world like gets bigger than you think it is, and it does start to hit peak, and then they do like the weird time travel stuff where you're like, I don't know how to feel about this, but I like it.
But like I also don't like it.
Yeah. And if you like it, you like it. And I think the biggest thing I want to say about this podcast is if we say something bad about what you like, I don't want you to change your opinion.
It's literally just our opinions, and they may be controversial
I will say people. Attack on Titan movies could be sick.
Yeah.
On the big screen, it would be beautiful.
Yeah.
An Attack on Titan video game, I think, would be
terrifying.
Peak.
Didn't you do the VR?
So I got the VR. So I have an Oculus. I got the VR game. I don't know like how official it is, or if it's like just a fan made or something. I will say using like using the ODM gear in VR, I felt freaking amazing.
Did you?
It was so cool. Like even if you hate Attack on Titan and you have an Oculus, get the game. It is so much fun. I would because you it's legit. It was honestly like very well designed for mechanics. I would aim up at like this tower and I'd yank myself up and I'd fly by like a Titan.
Were you terrified by the Titans though?
No, because they weren't like the graphics weren't the best, so it was never like anything like creepy. But you'd be like midair flying, and I'd have my two swords just slash it. Like it was like it felt amazing.
Yeah.
Like it was so cool. It kind of like helped me like Attack on Titan.
Really?
Appreciate it a little more.
Oh my goodness.
It's a little nauseating. I'm sure flying everywhere. But I do think like a video game, just a standard like console, PC, non-VR game would be pretty sick.
Yeah.
The mechanics are there. We had Spider-Man 1, 2, and Miles Morales. So like web slinging type mechanics are there. Mm-hmm. I think it'd be easy to translate that into ODM stuff.
What story would the game tell?
Right.
That's what I'd be interested in.
I would want something that would be like a good long time. Something that's honestly not related to the show at all.
Really?
Something like 100 years. I don't know. I don't know how long they've been in the walls, but something like 20 years or before Eren, before Wall Maria goes down. Just standard protocol, like nothing complicated. Maybe your main character, a disposable main character that get killed off at the end or something. Maybe they discover a secret that they're not supposed to. Like, just something like, it's all focused on killing Titans, and that's about it, right? Yeah, I think that'd be the best way to do it. No characters that we know of, minus maybe mentioning, like, the king or something.
Right.
But, like, I think it'd be better if it's a standalone.
I think that's fair. It would be interesting to do something with the founding Titan. Like so, like, you start with, like, the centipede, like, biting your spine. Or whatever.
Yeah, but then you get no ODM stuff, and I think people would hate that.
That's true.
I think
story-wise,
people thrive for the ODM.
That's so fair. Honestly, so fair. Everyone wants to be Levi. Everyone wants Levi. Like, there's no in between.
Right. So I feel like it's got to be a standalone 50 years prior to the show.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It'd be cool. I think it'd be great, and I think the movies would be cool. It's nice to see Attack on Titan fans thriving and feasting. Yeah. Especially because it's over, so it's like I'm sure a lot of them are just like, well, what now? I feel empty. And so it is cool that they're gonna get stuff.
So since we're on our first episode, before we go any further, should I let people know like my big thing about Attack on Titan?
What's your big thing
that I hate?
What do you hate the most about Attack on Titan?
I don't like Eren.
Oh, your Eren hate?
I don't like Eren at all.
Ooh, we need to do a segment on Eren. I think we need to let's not get into it right now.
Yeah.
Because I think we could do a whole segment on Eren.
If you like Eren, I really don't know what to say. But
you don't like pre-time skip Eren where he's like a boy and whiny.
No, I don't like Eren. Like I don't like him across the board.
I let you like time skip Eren. You were attracted to him.
No.
You growled a little when he came on screen.
No. They did that whole, like, spine connecting, like, long neck thing. I was like, all right, I don't know how to feel.
Absolutely unhinged when they did that.
So that was that. Yeah, I think think I like Levi. I like Sasha. That's probably about it.
Moving on, we've got Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War, Part 4. The rights to it got sold to Adult Swim.
Is that the one that did Ninja Kamui?
And
How do we feel?
They did the Uzumaki. They're doing Lazarus right now, which
Okay.
Lazarus has been decent.
We watched the first episode.
We watched the first episode. We won't talk about Lazarus in this week's weekly because we're behind.
Yeah.
That's on us, but we will talk about it next week. Yeah, Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War. So here's the hard part with Bleach and Bleach fans, is Bleach is getting a delayed. They're getting their roses way too late, right? The Bleach manga has been highly praised. 1,000-Year Blood War, what they're doing now in the manga is like people love it, right? But like it hasn't been popping off till recently, like 1,000-Year Blood War and stuff. Yeah, so which is kind of like why I wanted to get into Bleach and stuff was because everyone's talking about 1,000-Year Blood War. But yeah, so it's kind of sad because Shippuden was Shippuden. Naruto was just amazing. One Piece, it feels like once a year they're just like One Piece is back. One Piece is like One Piece is always getting its credit, but like Bleach, because you know if you don't know, Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, the big three, the original big three, and Bleach always kind of felt like the forgotten one because those two always got their big stuff. In Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War is the biggest part of Bleach, and it's just now kind of getting its like recognition and stuff.
Yeah.
And so seeing the news that it got sold to Adult Swim kind of breaks my heart.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was with like Disney before because of
Really?
Hulu.
Oh,
'Cause Disney owns Hulu.
interesting.
So as long as it doesn't turn into another Ninja Kamui, and if you don't know what we're talking about, we can do a whole segment on Ninja Kamui.
Yeah.
I can talk about it for hours because I'm so angry.
Let you do that episode. I'll just chime in here and there with the yep, agree, 100%.
Oh, Ninja Kamui is
It's kind of a heartbreaking one, honestly.
so much potential.
There was so much. Was it like the first 4 episodes we were like, this is so freaking good?
I don't even think we got to
Like-
4. I think it was like the 3rd episode.
Oh.
They introduced robots.
Hi, buddy. Yeah, we watched like episode 1 and we were like, oh my gosh, like this backstory. Depressing.
His hood, his
so
mask.
good. It
Ugh.
was sick. Like, go off. Like, yeah. And then it was like,
Even if you don't know
What
about
if they're
Ninja Kamui,
robots?
I'm sure you know about Uzumaki. The
horror.
oh my gosh. The mangaka's name is totally slipping my mind. Junji Ito. The Junji Ito manga turned anime. How bad that one flopped. And again, that was nothing to do with the creators of the anime.
Yeah.
It was all the studio. They like were struggling with like budget or something. So they're like, it was weird.
Yeah.
And it seems like it goes back to Adult Swim. And it's weird because they had one anime called like Cell Block C or something, another horror anime
Yeah.
that looked like it was beautiful and phenomenal. Looked creepy as heck. No one talked about it because it was Adult Swim and they don't really get recognition for their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as Bleach doesn't lose the momentum they've gained with 1,000-Year Blood War because of
Yeah.
Adult Swim,
I think that would be so heartbreaking. Like, I've watched the first episode of Bleach and I do want to continue, but like I know that it's a phenomenal like show and manga. So it would be sad if anything happened to, and that's not to say that it will.
right?
Not to say that it will. So let's be optimistic, and I wish Bleach the best.
Yeah, I don't want to trash it before anything happens. So we'll just see what happens, and then if
Yeah.
it continues to thrive, amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. So moving on, I feel like you should mention this next one, right? Like
Demon Slayer.
it's you, right?
Demon Slayer. Mugen Train being re-released in theaters.
Yeah, Demon Slayer.
Mark your calendars.
Demon Slayer Mugen Train coming back to theaters in 4K.
Dang.
I bet it's to get people hyped for Infinity Castle.
I'm so hyped for Infinity Castle.
Because think like the anime hasn't been aired recently.
Yeah.
I think the manga's done. So between now and I think Asian release is like July.
I thought it was... Is it July?
I think it's July. It starts with a J. June or July.
Okay.
And then, I don't know if it's worldwide or just like US, Canada in that mix, is like August or September.
Is it? I don't think I ever saw a date for it.
Yeah, it's like August or September.
Okay.
Fall-ish. So Infinity Castle is not coming out till like end of summer to fall.
Yeah.
Good few months to just forget about Demon Slayer and lose all hype and stop caring, because they can't drop a trailer
Lose
each
all
week.
hype.
They can't drop a trailer each month. They've
True.
gotta just
Yeah.
And so I bet you Mugen Train being re-released is to be like, hey guys, did you like that in theaters? Come watch this in theaters. But I love it. Mugen Train was such a good movie. I watched it on my living room couch on my TV, and it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I could only imagine what 4K would look like for that.
Yeah. I mean, I even think of like the Entertainment District fight.
Ooh.
Like, it was just beautiful.
I'm surprised they didn't do a movie for that.
It was beautiful.
I'm pretty sure cost-wise and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, think of like the fight between Rengoku and Upper 3 in 4K.
Bring your tissues.
Life-changing. Because like...
Spoilers. But bring your tissues.
But like, the fight between those two in 4K on a huge screen with surround sound, dude. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that...
10 out of 10.
I see what they're doing with it, and I support it. And I support it even more because I think it's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, if you guys are huge Demon Slayer fans, if you're just getting into Demon Slayer, and you're at the perfect point to watch the Mugen Train movie, go see it in theaters, because I think that's going to be fantastic.
Wait, do we know when it comes out in theaters?
I don't know if I saw an official date.
Okay.
Train movie re-release. Came out in 2021 originally.
Really?
Alright. It'll re-release theatrically in the US and Canada starting May 14th, with select international regions also releasing it same day.
Man.
So, just in a few weeks.
I hope we're one of those regions. If not, let's plan a trip. Just
No,
kidding.
United States is on there.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be like regionally, like, oh, it's in the Northeast.
United States,
or...
Canada, and then select international regions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sick. Perfect.
Available English and Japanese.
Sweet.
So, if you like the dub, great. If you prefer sub, even better. So, May 14th, mark your calendars.
Speaking of, Zenitsu's voice actor is also the voice actor for...
Jinwoo. English. His English voice actor.
English voice actor.
Yes. Yeah. Zenitsu's English voice actor does Jinwoo for Solo Leveling. So
if you like the Arise video, then you'll like Demon Slayer.
If you like Jinwoo saying Arise, don't watch Demon Slayer because he loses all aura.
So specifically, the video where he's saying, where he's practicing Arise over and over and over. Wait,
get up!
I got one more.
Yeah, so that's exciting. Just a few weeks. Mark your calendars.
I mean, I feel like you should actually be saying this one. In all honesty,
I can, yeah.
Go for it.
My Hero, Your Next movie has been released on Crunchyroll and Netflix. It got released, I think, earlier this week, so you might have already watched it. This takes place before the Final War arc and after Deku comes back to the school. So, like, after Deku's done with his, like, emo phase that he goes through.
Everyone does.
So, if you ever watched Your Next when it was in theaters, I think it was in theater. I think it had a theater run. Or if you've never seen it, it's now on Crunchyroll and Netflix. So, kind of cool that it's on two streaming services. I wanted to tell you, the really cool thing I learned about My Hero Academia movies, they're canon.
Really?
You never see that for movies. That's wild. But not canon in the sense like Mugen Train, where it's like part of it, but canon where like something in the anime will reference it later on.
Oh.
So in one movie, Bakugo gets like some new gauntlets, some gloves to wear.
Yeah.
And he's wearing that new style in a later episode.
Interesting.
And so it's kind of cool where it's like it rewards you. It's kind of like how I feel like the MCU shows are. Where it's like it rewards you for watching it, but you're not going to miss out on any major plot points if you miss it.
Yeah. Okay.
And so if you're a big My Hero fan and you're just thirsting for the final season, which I believe is later this year. My Hero Academia, your next movie, is out now, so there's something for you to check out in the meantime.
Nice. All right, just 2 left for you. So Star Wars Vision Season 3 drops October 29th. And then, do we have anything to say about Star Wars?
I think we need to watch it. We kind of... You see, I've got a Star Wars book. This is one out of probably a billion.
Empire Strikes Back is probably one of the
It's
best
one of my
movies.
favorite movies. I've fallen... I think the last Star Wars thing I watched was probably like... Mandalorian, probably like Andor.
And I was going to say
one.
Andor.
Season 1,
Yeah.
Season 2 is out. We're on Season 1. I don't know, man. It's hard for me, and not because of like all the controversies. People hate it because it's too woke, or nothing to do with that. I just think I've fallen out of love with science fiction in general, which is such a weird thing. It's such a random and weird thing. And I used to, in college, I was huge into sci-fi. And so I do think we need to watch Star Wars Visions.
Yeah.
Both for the anime and also like I've seen some beautiful things about it. And I think it kind of gets to the root of Star Wars of just basic stories telling about the like values that George Lucas had for the original stuff.
Nice.
And so Season 3, October 29th, plenty of time to catch up and then watch it. I think it'd be worth it to get into.
Cool. Alrighty. Well, Black Clover Season 5 might be delayed after 2027 due to Studio Pierrot being busy. So, chapters 379 and 380 should release May 2. And the manga will transition to, Jump Giga?
Yeah.
Magazine for the final arc. Like the final arc?
I think it's wrapping up, like I said, yeah.
Wow.
So, it makes sense for the studio to put it on the back burner.
Yeah.
I would want them to, especially if they're working on the final arc.
Yeah.
Let the mangaka hammer out what they want to hammer out with no pressure from the studio. Because that's what... some of the stuff that happened with like Gege Akutami with JJK, I think I read something that like why I felt rushed was Shonen Jump was pressuring him. And so...
I thought I heard that too. I kind of mourn for JJK a little bit, but that's also like a whole nother episode. Like
JJK is a tough one because we can't really talk about it until like the anime's caught up.
Right. There's just so many like spoilers.
And,
But I will say like season 1, season 2, the movie, like, and season 2 includes Hidden Inventory, by the way. That's a whole, other thing. But it's all like, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And it's hard because I really did enjoy it, and it's probably one of my favorite animes, but it's not going to be in my top.
What sucks is, I forgot, I'm wearing a Toji shirt.
Oh, yeah.
We like JJK.
We love JJK, yeah.
Culling Games had so much potential. And I think what Gege... Well, one of his biggest downfalls was, or biggest, like, downsides, you could say, was... he introduced cursed energy.
Yeah.
You watch any anime, you've got chakra, you've got all these different things. It's basically a different version of itself. In this, it's cursed energy. And he introduced it, which is fine. It just felt like there was so much to cursed energy that was hard to understand.
That's fair. Especially in Culling
Hunter
Games.
x Hunter also had that, where they introduced this concept of you can be a enhancer, you could be and it didn't flesh it out a whole lot. It kind of did with Heaven's Arena, but not a lot.
It kind of did.
Not a lot. Biscuit kind of helped a little more, but still not a lot. And you're just kind of like, okay, whatever. It's a part of the universe. We get some cool powers out of it. The issue that happened, though, was Gege had an entire arc revolve around it. He was like... He had villains whose whole... reason for being bad revolved around cursed energy, right? You had...
Mahito?
No, Gojo's friend.
Oh my gosh, why am I blanking?
No
this
way
is
you
terrible.
As well. No way.
I'm picturing his face. I feel so bad.
There's no way we both forget his name.
Fake fans.
For real. Gato.
Okay, we're done. This is the end of the podcast.
For real. Yeah, so you had Gato who was like wanting to rid the world of cursed energy or have everyone have cursed energy. you had so much revolve around this one concept, and it just felt like it was never fleshed out to a point where I could understand Culling Games.
Culling Games was just a lot, and like I said, I think that's why JJK won't be in my top anime, is because I know it's coming.
So yeah.
But like, Hidden Inventory, phenomenal arc. Shibuya Incident, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like, would watch again.
So we got on all this because we were talking about the ending of JJK maybe being rushed. So hopefully they don't rush Black Clover. Hopefully this gives them breathing room to... Because we've watched the first 2 seasons of Black Clover.
I don't know where we are.
I don't know where we are. 2 or 3. And it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And we love it. And so it deserves a good ending that satisfies. And I mean, they're only on chapters 379 and 380.
Dang.
Which doesn't feel like a lot. Mm-mm. So hopefully they can wrap it up well. Hopefully it can be everything that satisfies fans and gives a good finish to what's been a great story so far. But that is your weekly anime news. We're going to head to a quick break, and then we'll be back to discuss the new anime episodes that came out this week that we watched. So sit tight, and we will be right back. All right. Anyways, we have some weekly anime for you guys. Like we said at the top of the episode, what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5. We won't talk about Lazarus this week. So we don't have a lot of weekly anime that we're watching right now. Just kind of the big ones.
Yeah.
So if you guys have some niche stuff that's dropping weekly, want to hear our thoughts on it, want us to talk about it, we'd love to get recommendations. We're always looking for it. Mm-hmm. It gives us good content, good stuff to watch, and forces us to spend time together, which...
Oh, no.
So, so if you guys want to hear more about your favorite animes, please plug them down below and let us know. But let's get started. So One Piece, episode 1127, just aired.
That's so impressive.
It's so impressive, honestly. And the pacing can be argued. People hate One Piece pacing and whatnot, but just keep that's just insane. So this was a huge episode and you don't watch One Piece, so I'll kind of talk to you about it. This was a big fight between Luffy and Kizaru, who's like a admiral in the Navy. So in the Navy, there's like, like Navy rankings, vice admiral, rear admiral, all the, standard stuff. And your admirals are like, you're like goated, like they're stupid strong. And Kizaru is someone that, so like all big animes, One Piece has a time skip. And pre-time skip, they were on this island getting ready to embark on like the second half of their journey. When Kizaru and a bunch of other Navy people showed up, they attacked the crew and the crew had to split. And that's when they went into hiding for like a few years to train separately. And then they were going to meet back up. And so Kizaru has fought this crew before, and it was bad. They got their butts handed to him. Because his big power is like light. He can turn into light. He can shoot light. Like it's super kind of goated. It's kind of insane. And so this fight was Luffy versus Kizaru, which is kind of like a Luffy kind of like getting it back and like, And this is Luffy who can now turn into his final form. So Luffy's peak, Kizaru's been peak. So it was a huge fight. And I will say that the animation for this fight was worth the wait. Mm-hmm. One Piece was on a break for a little bit before they continued to Egghead Island, the arc they're on now. And it was to let the anime catch up a little bit, to let the manga keep going a little bit, to let the voice actors rest a little bit. And this episode alone shows how worth it that break was, because the animation was just gorgeous. Yeah. Because the whole thing with Luffy's final form is it's a very cartoony. He models after the sun god, and the sun god was like, his whole thing was like, I'm free, I'm not restrained by anything, and so the way he fights is rubbery, like Luffy kind of is, and very cartoony. And so this fight, it reminded me of like, if you ever watched like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where it's just over the top cartoon action, something you'd seen like Looney Tunes, like it was just very well done. And so the fight was gorgeous. The episode was, great as always. I'm almost caught up on the manga, and a lot of what's going to be coming up in the anime it's going to be talked about. If people haven't been reading the manga, it's going to be talked about because they're working towards a lot. So
That's exciting.
Yeah, so the episode this week was fantastic. We should, within the next few episodes, be getting like Kuma's backstory, which so heartbreaking. I think it's going to be so great to watch it on TV. So One Piece is still thriving, I think, even after this break.
Good. I caught up with Apothecary Diaries last night. I had 3 episodes in the queue. I really love Apothecary Diaries for a multitude of reasons. Season 2's been fun, though, because it's getting into more of the bigger plot. Like, season 1 was more like...
Introducing stuff,
but them, like, going around the I think it's the Inner Palace, and, like, solving, like, some mysteries, and, like, Mao Mao's kind of establishing herself as, like...
Would you...
Sounds corporate, but thought leadership of, like, she's an apothecary, like...
This might be a wild comparison. Would you compare it to, like, season 1 versus season 2 of Supernatural? Where it's like the first season is kind of like weekly episodes, solving mysteries,
I see.
and then season 2 is like, whoa, there's actually a storyline to this cool show that I've been enjoying.
I don't think so, because towards the end of season 1, they do have, like, a larger mystery to solve, and that just came back in this last episode.
Okay.
And to be honest, I should go back and rewatch season 1 so I can remember everything fully. But it's getting into, like, a lot of political intrigue and, like, more character development, I would also say. Lots of big secrets happening that might be revealed soon. But yeah, it's been fun to keep watching, and every time I watch it, I'm like, I forget how much I really like this show. Okay. Like, it's just such a fun...
It's a pretty big one, isn't it? Like, I feel like I've seen people talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fairly big. I mean, there's merch for it, so that should tell you stuff.
They're making money off of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm on episode 2. Our deal was for every 15 episodes of Shippuden that she watches, I'll watch 1 episode of Apothecary Diaries. And that's not because I'm terrible. That's just how it evens out.
We did the math.
Percentage-wise.
We did the math.
No, I don't mind Apothecary Diaries. I do, like, I think I've told you, I do understand why it's good. Mm-hmm. I respect it for what it is. It's just not my kind of anime.
Fair.
And I like Mao Mao. Mm-hmm. Mao Mao is a great character. Like, it's fun.
Yeah.
The mysteries are cool. We watched Moriarty the Patriot. Mm-hmm. Again, I liked it. I thought it was good. Like, it's just not my type of anime. Like, mystery stories are fun and I enjoy them. But it's like, I gotta be in the mood for them.
That's so fair.
So I could do a movie if I'm like, I want to watch a mystery movie. Like a show, you're just like, I'm committing to a whole season of this.
If you're binging the episodes, it's just a really long movie at the end of the day.
Like 4 episodes would be a movie.
So, but no, it's fun, and I think I like it because Mao Mao is such a unique female character. Yeah. Like, she's very like, this is what I am here for.
It's a well-written female character.
It's a well-written female character, and I saw something where it was like Mao Mao, she doesn't like have like a lot of, like, she can't read the room. Like, when it comes to people, like, she really can't read their emotions, but she picks up on a lot of things. So she's like, oh, I'm overhearing this. I shouldn't know that. I'm not going to bring it up. I do not want to die today. Like, she's very good at, like, I'm going to stay out of this business. Yeah, yes and no. Like, she definitely, like, she's always in the business, right? Like, she's the one that they call to, like, solve these mysteries when it comes to, like, poisons or different, even different, like, elements throughout the Imperial Palace. But, like, she learns Jinshi's secret, part of it, and she's like, I'm not touching that. Like, well, if you know, she did touch it. But
whoa, we're a PG podcast.
Everyone knows about the frog incident, right? But yeah, but at the end of the day, she's like, this is my business, and this is like palace business, and I'm not getting involved.
Yeah.
And so
she definitely keeps to herself, and it's like, she has no aspirations for anything but surviving and enjoying her poisons.
You don't understand what a good, like, ingredient will do to her.
Right. She knows what she enjoys, but she has no
Yeah.
aspirations for political power.
Oh, absolutely not.
Which is fun to have
not.
a political show focused on someone
Yeah.
like that. So.
And it's also really interesting because it dives into like the entertainment district and stuff, because that's where she was raised.
Right.
And so you see a really cool, like, I don't know if cool is the right word, but it's a fascinating side of it.
The
like,
difference between the two.
The difference between the two, but also it's just like she was raised in a brothel.
Right.
And like brought up in a brothel and everything, and that has a huge impact on her character. And you kind of see like later on where she still, I would say, like, has those values. So like there's one episode, I think one of the prostitutes at the brothel where she was raised, I think they were like set free. I don't know if that's the right term, but they left service, I guess. And so she went up on like the palace wall, and like she had her robes and everything, and she did a dance for them because like that's what they would do.
Okay.
And so some of those like little things, it's like you see more of her character, and like you think that she doesn't care about a lot, but I mean at the end of the day she really does. And so she's just such an interesting character, and I really, really like her. So that's why she's the big reason that I keep watching. The political intrigue is cool, but she's just such a fun character to watch.
I was just curious. Apothecary Diaries has 77 chapters. It says the first season covered 40 chapters.
Okay, that makes sense, because like I said, I feel like I've been getting deja vu with season 2. I'll look up. I hope I'm giving the facts right about the episodes and not like misremembering things. I'd feel so bad.
It says there's 2 manga series for it.
Really?
I wonder maybe like Chinese and like
Hi, buddy.
English or something. So it kind of seems like they're fairly caught up on. That's probably why they're only on season 2 and it's still taking a while.
Hi, Bonnie. Okay, so it's the Pleasure District. So I was like, I'm hoping that I'm saying this right. So the reason that she danced, it's traditional for women of the Pleasure District to dance to celebrate when one of them is bought out and essentially leaves home to get married.
Oh, wow.
She was raised to participate in this tradition, and so she gets up on the palace wall and does her dance. There is more to that specific marriage that meets the eye, but I will not
spoil it or anything. Yeah, that is cool though that they have that cultural piece. Moving on, like I said, we won't talk about Lazarus this week. We watched the first episode. We can say what we like. I mean, I liked the first episode.
I liked it. Yeah,
I think
it
it
was fun.
sets up cool stuff. It was funny, we were watching it and I was like, this literally feels just like Cowboy Bebop. And I think like a few days later it came out that the showrunner or someone was like, this is set in the same world as Cowboy Bebop. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. So,
hey man, that's my microphone.
First episode was really good. We've got a few episodes to catch up on, so we'll catch up on those and get back to you guys on that. But we like it so far. I think let me do this one real quick, and then we'll talk about the last one.
Okay.
So, My Hero Vigilantes, episode 3 just came out recently, and it's been going good. I mean, it's funny because it feels like it's moving a lot faster than My Hero Academia did in terms of like the intrigue and like the villains and like stuff like that. Like episode 3 ends where you get introduced to like one of the main villains for the show, and she has something to do with like creating Trigger, the drug that's been going around and all this stuff. And I feel like it's been a while since I watched season 1 of My Hero, but I feel like it didn't like jump into like stuff like that and intense like that right away. And so it's kind of cool. Episode 2 had a Easter egg for Wolverine and Cyclops from X-Men.
Really?
There's two students.
You have pens to get over there.
From middle school who one of them has the power to like make like a sword come out of his hand, kind of like
That's
Wolverine
wild.
does, and then one literally shoots laser beams, and they
Oh,
argue with each
okay.
other, but they're friends, and literally the relationship between Wolverine and Cyclops, and so it was kind of a cool little Easter egg. I'm guessing that's the purpose of them. It's pretty obvious that's what they're replicating, but I don't know. Yeah, I think what I like about Vigilantes so far is right in front of the camera.
Oh my gosh, Kitty, this is like PG-13.
What I like
No
about
beating.
Vigilantes, though, is it gives like a underbelly look at My Hero's World, where like Deku was this kid who wanted to be a superhero and went to school for it, like did all the right things for it, but it's like, what if someone wasn't as blessed as Deku was to
Yeah.
get All Might's power, and they still have that dream, right? And so Vigilantes explores that, and I think it's really cool that we get that point of view, and it's almost more heartbreaking because you're just like, dang, like, you have as much drive and heart as Deku does, but because you didn't get blessed like he was, you don't get to experience that.
That's also a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. So, Vigilantes is going pretty solid so far. Nothing insane. If you like My Hero Academia, you'll like Vigilantes.
Nice.
But I think the big one we wanted to talk about this week is To Be Hero X.
Yes.
If you don't know, To Be Hero X, I don't know the studio. It's a Chinese anime, I believe. It's the third in an anthology.
Which we did not know when we started it.
I think we're 2 episodes.
So
yeah.
I think that's another disclaimer for the listeners. We are not experts.
We were 2 episodes in, and we were like, "What's this connection to To Be Hero?" Yeah, so To Be Hero is the first show, just one season. To Be Heroine
Yep.
is the second one, and then To Be Hero X is the third one. I think each are about 13 episodes. They're all superhero focused,
Yep.
and it's like different themes and stuff about superheroes. So To Be Hero X is the one we're watching. Episode 4 just came out this weekend. A little overview about To Be Hero X and its world is it's based in the superhero world where public opinion determines your strength.
Yeah.
How the public views you determines your powers you have, how strong they are. For reference, the public has shipped 2 superheroes together. One of them has a teleportation ability. But because the public wants her to constantly be by his side, her teleportation only delivers her to his side. She can't teleport to anywhere else unless it's right to him. So it's the public view. So in a world where public opinion determines your heroes and villains, marketing and media is key.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the best way to describe everything,
Yeah.
I think, without spoiling too much.
I think when you like really think about what they're trying to express through that, it's just kind of a fascinating commentary, which like said it before and we'll say it again, that could also be like a whole nother episode.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I feel like we start every episode and we're like, dun 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 dun, dun, and like this, this is fun, blah blah blah.
The pacing's a little rough.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's specific to
fair.
the studio or if that's how like Chinese animes are, maybe. Or
Yeah.
The pacing's a little rough. It's fast. The pacing's
It's
fast,
fast.
not
Yep.
slow. Rough, very fast.
But like it's not bad.
But it's not bad. But I think the first episode, you see a character death and a huge change within the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Insane.
Right. But I feel like we'll start it and we'll get like 10 minutes in and we're like, okay, like this is cool, like
Yeah.
we it's there, and then like something happens and we're like, oh my gosh, this is like kind of peak.
There's
Like,
something each episode that you're just like, oh, this is an amazing
yeah.
anime.
We just watched episode 4.
Yep.
And the post credits, right?
Yeah, I'd say post-credits, because
Post-credits?
credits were rolling when it happened.
Okay. And my jaw
Mid-credit?
dropped. My jaw dropped. I was you'll find this about me often. I was reading manhwa at the time. And I watched it and I was like, what? Made me put my manhwa down. So you know how crazy that is.
It was a moment where 2 characters are talking, and you're like, "Ah, what a good episode. Let's wrap her up.
Nice little
Let's
ending.
call it a week. We're excited for next week." And then you hear a gunshot. You
know what?
Look up from your phone.
It's giving Gato
It's
and
I was
the
gonna say
plasma
it's
star
literally-
vessel.
Yep, it's literally that. Where
Is it plasma star vessel?
yeah,
Is that right?
Is it plasma? You're just like enjoying this moment, and then you hear a gunshot. You look up from your phone. there's blood on the camera, and
you're
you
like,
just watched a character die.
Is it Star Plasma Vessel?
Star Plasma, I think.
That sounds more, yeah.
So episode 4 was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
For a lot of different reasons. This is the God's Eye versus Linling fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I specify Linling and not Nice.
Yes.
Because this is where Linling becomes the hero.
Mm-hmm.
And he steps away from the persona that he's had the past few episodes.
Yeah.
And so, fantastic fight. I mean, it was
a good fight.
really good. And I think the huge thing with To Be Hero X, if you get into it, which I highly recommend, is that if you don't like the animation when you start it, keep going.
Watch all the fights.
Because the fights, the cool thing about it is the fights, every time heroes and villains fight, it turns into a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
Not like panel by panel, but like into the Spider-Verse where it's that comic-y animation, it's faster paced. So if you're unsure about the animation, keep going, because just watch the first episode. Finish the first episode and it should tell you everything you need to know about the show.
The animation style at first is a little bit like
You weren't a big fan of
trippy.
it.
You really have to get used to it.
It reminded me of like a Pixar movie or something like that.
That's fair. I could see that. Yeah. But all that to say, it's pretty good. I've been enjoying it.
I think the first 2 shows have like 13 or so episodes. So we just watched episode
4.
Huh?
We're only on 4.
Yeah, we just watched 4, so we still got a decent amount left to watch. The reason we got excited was because there was the trailer for it showed one of the heroes, like his power is like when he snaps his fingers, it changes like the animation style, which then messes with the villains. So like it'll be 3D, he'll snap, they turn 2D, and so it was really cool to see an anime where the animation style changes constantly between frames.
Yeah.
He hasn't been in any of the episodes yet.
No.
So still kind of waiting on that, but I mean, I'm still excited. I'm excited.
Oh gosh.
Jeez. I'm excited for each week for new episodes.
You never know what's going to happen.
No.
First of all.
I think like the cool thing about the fast pacing is each episode's a whole different story almost.
True. And it's interesting that we are only on episode 4 because I feel like we just witnessed such a huge character moment in like 2 different ways.
Yeah.
Like,
the fast pacing means that you're seeing huge character development happen within minutes.
Yeah. But I will say, like,
some might hate.
To see Linling's character development in episode 4 did not feel that rushed.
No, yeah. The fights feel slowed down, which is interesting.
That specific character moment that he had, that did not feel rushed to me.
Yeah. So, To Be Hero X, weekly anime, highly recommended. I mean, I can't say enough good things about it. It's really good. We just got my dad into it, and if you remember, my dad's not big in anime, so get your dad into it. So that's our weekly anime for this week's episode. Like we said, please give us more recommendations. We'd love to check them out. But we're going to have to do a quick break, and then when we come back, we've got some Devil May Cry reviews to talk about. Ooh. So stick around. All right. And we are back for our Devil May Cry segment, which, if you guys don't know, Devil May Cry is a new anime. It was done by Studio Mir and released on Netflix April 3rd, so not too long ago, about a month ago almost. It's based off of video games. There's 5 Devil May Cry video games done by Capcom, which is a huge video game studio.
And you recently got them.
I did get all 5 of them. I beat the first one.
Influenced.
I was very influenced. They got me. So yeah, it's a new anime. I wouldn't say it's a big new anime, just because like I've heard no one talking about it.
Okay, but like I said, it was on WWE.
It was on WWE, but that's because it was the Monday Night Raw, which is owned by Netflix. So Netflix was plugging their own show.
Right.
On a different show.
I will say I don't usually watch WWE. I
you
just want to put that out there. Yeah.
So Devil May Cry, it's an anime about a devil hunter named Dante. The original games were inspired by both Resident Evil and Dante's Inferno. That's hence the main character named Dante. Hey, buddy. I know. What's interesting is that Devil May Cry, the first game, was supposed to be Resident Evil 4, I believe. that the creator wanted to make a more action-packed game. The studio didn't really want to do that, so he turned it into his own game called Devil May Cry. And it's a story about a devil hunter who finds out that he himself is descended from a devil, but not just any devil. The devil named Sparda. Huge thing where devils and humans were fighting, and Sparda, a devil, turned against his people to create a barrier between what's essentially hell and the mortal plane. So do we want to talk about your favorite white-haired character, Dante?
It's not my favorite white-haired character.
Is he up there?
I don't know. Like, I think he's a great character. He's definitely like your Gojo type character.
Yeah.
Where they're like kind of OP, nonchalant.
Who do you like more, Gojo or Dante?
How could you make me choose? I mean, it's hard because Gojo's got the blindfold going for him.
A good blindfold or mask. Kakashi will attest to that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she's so English. What do you think, Sylvie? Is Dante a good character? No, he's a good character. I will say, like, Hidden Inventory was so good. I can't choose. Maybe
it's funny because to write a well done cocky character is tough. Someone that's like well liked, right? And I think that they hit the like nail on the head with Dante.
Yeah.
Where he is very cocky, but you're like here for it. You're
I'm so here for it.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I think the show
what are we shooting at?
The show had amazing quips and banter, and what was the one where he was like, no, but your mom does. Or he's like, are you like some superhero or something? He's like, no, but your mom calls me one.
It was some of your mom joke. It was
so
funny.
Such a good joke. And so Dante personality-wise, phenomenal. Yeah. So well done. As a fighter, the fight scenes are so good.
They're really good.
And it's so funny because what was the thing? He was running on walls. And what was your thing that you always said? Do you remember?
Oh, I was like, how does this man not know that he's part devil?
How does he have no idea he's part...
There's a mountain goat in these walls.
He literally, like, takes so much damage in the show. And he's like, that's just how I do it.
I think he gets a hole, like, blasted straight through him. And it just heals. And he's not like, wonder how I can do that.
I think they asked him. They were like, how? And he was like, I just heal fast. So, Dante is such a lovable rascal of a character.
Yeah, rascal's a good word.
And I asked you because I just wanted to bully you. I don't think you can compare Gojo and Dante. I think they're such different characters that you can love both of them equally and love them for what they are. I think at the end of the day, I'd love to see Gojo and Dante get a beer together.
Yeah.
I think that'd be hilarious.
I think, like, my Gojo hot take is that there's so much more behind the blindfold than what meets the eye, and you see that in, like, the later chapters when he's gearing up for his fight. Yeah. And he looks so serious. Yeah. But as soon as he sees, like, Yuji and the kids...
Are you going to say Dante's not as deep?
No.
Oh.
I'm going on a Gojo
You're just going on a Gojo rant.
I'm going on a Gojo rant.
This doesn't connect.
No, this does not connect. But I've thought this for so long, is that I just, like, I feel like there's more to Gojo that meets the eye, and I think we're missing that in JJK, and it makes me a little sad. Cause like,
well, yeah, I mean, they teased like his whole being the inheritor of the sixth eye,
and like Infinity, literally like assassins going after him.
Yeah, like I've said before, if they were to do like a Gojo movie, it'd be so good to start.
They are doing a Gojo movie.
No, they're doing an original Gojo. If they're doing an original Gojo movie, it'd be cool to start where he's like a kid. Yeah. You're seeing him be this hardened kind of person, being hunted down constantly. Yeah.
The clips that you see as Gojo as a kid don't match Gojo as an adult. So it's like, where is this gap?
Yeah, and it'd be cool to parallel that with Geto growing up. And
so in this essay, I will. But going back to Dante...
We'll do a segment on our screenplay for a Gojo movie. I will say, I played the first Devil May Cry video game, and Dante kind of is very similar. And you kind of see that in the anime. There's this one devil in the video game, the first one, that like she like betrays him. She earns his trust, she betrays him, and he has a chance to kill her, and he doesn't. And he saves her instead, and she's like, why would you do that? Like, I'm a devil, like, da-da-da. And he looks at her, and he goes, the only reason I saved you is because you look just like my mother. If I see you again, I will kill you. And so, like, it's a scene, especially in the first video game, we don't really know, like, as much about his, like, childhood as you do in the show. Mm-hmm. And so it's this scene where, like, you're like, whoa, like, up until this point in the video games, he's kind of carefree. He's Dante and stuff. And then here's this moment where he's just like, there's something with his mom, and you're just like, what was that? And so he does have those moments, at least in the first video game. I'm sure more in the others. And I think as the anime keeps going, which hopefully it does, that we'll see more of Dante's sadder, serious moments. Especially if he has a fight against Virgil or someone else where he has to lock in even more.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's such an interesting character because, like, he's very carefree, very go with the flow.
Yeah.
And also very trusting. And so I think the trusting part's really interesting because, like, his family was killed.
Yeah.
And
by devils.
By devils. So that's one part, but, like, yeah, I think, like, the trusting aspect just did him in at the end. Which, what's her name? I forget her name.
Oh, God. Lady whatever. I call her Lady Arkham or something.
I think it is, I did not like her.
God, the ending of, it pissed me off. We'll get to that. You want something funny about the first game? So he has like a PI agency for like hunting devils. And I think it's called like Devil May Cry or something. And he goes through all this, and he ends up with that devil chick.
Okay.
He ends up like saving her again, and she's like, "What happened? Like I thought." Da, da, da. And he tells her it's because she shed like a tear over something, and he's like, "You're not a devil because devils don't cry, and that's why I saved you." So you're like, whoa, that's kind of cool. The game's called Devil May. You know, the worst part about it, they go back to his like private investigation agency and change the name to Devils Don't Cry.
Ew.
It's so in the first game goes against like the entire name of
So will the show name change?
I hope not. That'd be insane.
I would cry.
It's such a random thing.
That is so
And I don't think they really address it. And the timeline for the video games is weird because like 3's before 2, which is after 4.
Oh, interesting.
One of those kind of things. But it is funny because they do that. But yeah, I think Dante's... I hope it gets more recognition, the show does, because I think Dante's a character that a lot of people could fall in love with.
I think so, too. He kind of makes me think of Dean from Supernatural.
Yeah, he's like Dean,
Very
but just
Dean type.
Cooler.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, weren't there some qualms with the show? I don't know what they are.
I don't remember. Like I said, I haven't heard too many people talk about it, so...
I thought I saw some ratings. They were all, like, all the episodes were rated in the high 7s. And I was like, I know that's, like, not a bad rating.
Could go
I feel
higher.
like it deserves more hype.
Is it the best soundtrack we've had for an anime?
That's a good question.
From, like, Papa Roach to Limp Bizkit to, like, a lot of, like...
It's a fun one.
Yeah.
It's a really fun one.
Does it use music better than some animes do? You think it's Solo Leveling?
Solo Leveling is really good.
Yeah.
I do... it's just that one song.
Yeah, the one song.
That's just phenomenal. It was like, it was used so perfectly. Yeah. And I do, in fact, have it on my personal playlist.
Hauntingly.
Yeah, it's so good.
But also in Devil May Cry, the bike chase scene, where it's like, cut my... As he jumps Papa Roach kicks on.
My thing is, like, I just like music for music.
Yeah.
And I know, like, you definitely dive deeper than that. And I appreciate that.
My connection's a lot deeper.
But I'm just like, I just like it. So, like, this is my other tangent, but I have to mention it. Apothecary Diaries Season 2 intro.
Quick plug.
It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. I, like, That's one intro I did not skip. The music was great. The art was great. So I really like that song. That's all I wanted to say.
I mean, a good anime intro is a good anime intro. You can't really go wrong with it.
Does Demon Slayer like really have like music soundtracks? Why can't I think of it?
I want to say there's a moment between when Tanjiro's protecting Nezuko. It plays that song as he's remembering everything.
Not a Tanjiro family flashback.
Yeah, God. No. Yeah, you remember the one Tanjiro family flashback?
Oh, like in episode 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Out of every episode. Yeah, so they do use music. I don't think it's as obvious as like Devil May Cry and Solo Leveling might be. It's more like instrumental, maybe.
I don't know. I will say, like, I don't know that the music in Devil May Cry like really moves the story.
No.
But it's a phenomenal soundtrack.
I think it's episode 6.
Is that the flashback?
The flashback
okay, that's
episode.
Fair.
The flashback episode.
I think that's fair, but I'm talking like if it's in the soundtrack of a fight scene.
Yeah, no, I think overall like the soundtrack's fine. That one episode.
Yeah.
Come on. I think there was a total of maybe 20 words spoken in that whole episode.
That was a great episode.
And then the music carried the whole thing. And
that's so fair.
It was an episode where I was tempted to look up answers. Like, what does this mean? What is, but I just told myself that we just got to watch it. Mm-hmm. I trust that they're going to tell the story. And by the end of that episode, I was just floored.
Yeah.
It was
a great episode.
So I will say that's what comes to mind when I think like soundtrack for Devil May Cry. This one episode with just beautiful. I mean, Evanescence is on that episode. Like beautiful, as you would say, esoteric music.
Me?
You say esoteric, don't you?
Do I?
I think you do.
I think it's like whimsical.
Whimsical music.
That's not the right word, I don't think.
Which is such a heartbreaking story. It was just so good.
It was great.
I think the soundtrack in general was good. Mm-hmm. I would say if you're putting that if you're putting the backstory episode for Devil May Cry side by side with Solo Leveling's Jeju Island episode that we're thinking of.
Yeah. And the other episode.
And the other, same song, so the episode. Devil May Cry clears. 100%. Way better.
But is that because it's a more emotional episode? Like, you're never going to get a super emotional episode with Solo Leveling.
No. I think the Jeju Island episode's super emotional. Where Prince shows up and starts just, like, capping the main cast. Like,
at
with
the end of the day,
a beautiful song playing.
It's just Baby Girl.
But yeah, I think that, like, the Devil May Cry episode, it was just the music added an infinite amount to it. So... yeah, the soundtrack's fun, but that one episode was just phenomenal.
Does Devil May Cry Season 1 have one of the best anime villains?
I was going to say, that episode... so, the White Rabbit for Devil May Cry Season 1 was a great villain.
Great villain.
And then we get to that episode, and changes everything, right? I don't want to spoil it in case anyone wants to watch it. Because I do think you need to go into it blind. You need to go into this episode and not know anything. It's a flashback episode that explains some of his motives. And it's an episode that breaks your heart. Yeah. And you're also just like, I don't know who to root for anymore.
Right.
And I think that's what makes a good villain, right? I don't know how you feel. But like to me, that's what makes a great villain. Is someone that you're just like, I kind of want to root for you. Yeah. So how do you feel about him?
Yeah, great villain. I think to have a good villain, you need to make watchers or readers or however you're consuming media understand the path that they took to get to their villainy.
Yeah, relate to them almost.
Yeah. So we keep talking about JJK, but like Gato.
Gato's the movie.
Your decisions and the way that you're trying to get to your solution is not right. But I can understand that how your thought process got you there. Yeah. And so when you can like understand and empathize with like what they're feeling.
Or we're not even like there yet, but in Shippuden, Pain is another villain where when you learn his backstory, you're gonna be like, oh, yeah, dang, like so. it's the most memorable. I think it makes the most memorable villains.
I think it does. It makes like some of the best villains out there.
I mean, you look at. I think a great example would be from Captain America: Civil War, the Zemo.
Oh.
Right,
Yep.
where he's like manipulating everything, and
Yeah.
and then you learn his motives, and you're just like, shoot,
Like
he's a victim as well.
it.
Like, yeah, so,
Right. Or like I would also say the demons. I think what is it? Upper Five.
Oh, from
the
like
brother
Demon
and
Slayer?
sister.
Yeah,
Yeah. Where it's like you hear their story and you empathize with them and you're like, shoot, there's so much more to them. Not to say like.
they're in the right.
No, not to say that they're in the right, because they're very much not.
They're vampires.
They're bad. They're very bad, but like their backstory's so good.
Yeah,
And like, I mean, when you can empathize with them, but also like when you give them like a villain, like a fleshed out backstory,
yeah,
that's when you get like a good villain.
yeah, and it's nice because like Devil May Cry has the White Rabbit, where you're like,
You're like, this guy's crazy.
messed me up.
Yeah.
But then they also have like Mundus, where you're like, oh, this dude is just plain
Yeah.
evil. He killed Dante's like mom, like all this stuff. You're just like, this dude is bad news. I know for a fact we don't like
Yeah.
him.
But I also think if you're going to have like a longer running show, you need the balance of the two of them.
Yeah.
Just as a reminder of like, no, like it's evil,
Yeah.
right? Like there's just bad
So do you
characters.
So then do you think the reveal of Virgil will take the spot of the White Rabbit for season 2?
I don't think I know enough about Devil May Cry. Like,
But like, it's his brother. It's
Yeah.
another person who is a complicated backstory.
Yeah.
Could be good. Could be, Do you think that'll be like our new White Rabbit kind of thing?
I don't know about New White Rabbit. I can definitely like see it being a point of conflict. Like, oh, of course, right? It's
Yeah.
gonna be a point of conflict, but I don't know. I feel like I don't know enough to like give an answer because right now, the way it ended, there's so much that you have to do. Like,
There's so much hype for it.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the ending of Devil May Cry,
Are we spoiling?
not too much.
Okay.
It reveals Ouroboros Corporation, which, if you play the games, they're huge in the second game. With Arias, he's a sorcerer who is in charge of the corporation, and his whole thing is like, your basic evil sorcerer. He wants unlimited power and wants to tap
Naturally.
the hell for that power. And so it feels like it's setting up for a great conflict between Dante and him. It kind of almost seems like the show-wise, we won't see a Dante versus Mundus until like the very final season.
I feel like that makes sense though, right?
Like the big final boss, like a D&D
Yeah.
campaign.
Yeah. I guess again, like I've never played the games. I don't know much about them.
Yeah.
So.
He fights Mundus in the first game.
Oh shoot.
He fights. So
All right. Well, timeline's out the window.
Mundus is like opening a portal from hell to earth, and Dante goes to like this island to stop it, and he like does all this stuff, and then basically Dante's like, screw it, opens the portal and jumps into hell to fight Mundus himself.
That sounds like
It's such a like dope character thing. So he does fight Mundus in like the very. He also fights Virgil in the very first.
interesting.
And what's cool is in the first game, Virgil is a like devil under the control of Mundus. And then when he fights Dante and loses, he like breaks free of that control.
I see.
So I could see them kind of going that route with the show.
Yeah.
It feels like it's, I don't know, the show and the game are kind of mirroring itself and kind of not. I will say season 2 has been confirmed for April 7th of next year.
Okay.
Which thank the Lord above, because the cliffhangers at the end of season 1
We're insane.
were steep.
Yes.
So I'm excited that they were able to do these cliffhangers and then also be like, don't worry, we will get to this.
You know what? We should put together like a little anime calendar of like the launches.
Yeah, for real.
So we can keep track. And, you know, for the people in the back too. So
They kind of matter. So you do have a year to get into Devil May Cry.
It's 12 episodes, right?
It wasn't a lot of episodes.
Wasn't
Yeah.
or was it 8? Because we watched 4.
Shoot,
We
it might have
watched
been- it
4
was
one
8.
night,
It was 8
and then we
episodes.
watched like the 4 again with your dad
Oh
and
my
finished
gosh,
it.
that's
So
right. It's only 8 episodes.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
a weekend one. So your weekend
Definitely.
animes are now 7th Time Loop, Devil May Cry, and One Piece.
Yes.
The first 4
One Piece is definitely in the weekend anime. Yeah, go watch Devil May Cry. I'd say watch it now to get you hyped up for like next year.
Yeah. Then you can play the games too if you
Play
want.
the games. Quick plug. Yeah, Devil May Cry. What would you give it? Let's go. A 10 is such a high number. Let's go 5-star rating.
5-star rating. I feel like 4. 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
Yeah. 4.25.
I'd go 4.5
Okay.
out of 5. I would almost go 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I don't know.
I really did not like Lady's character.
Ooh, we said we'd get to
She-
it. Let's get to it.
She brought the show down for me in a multitude of ways, and I thought that we reached a tipping point with her where, like, she would make good choices, and then
If
she
you've
just
ever
didn't.
seen Game of Thrones and you know about Cersei Lannister, be prepared. Because this is an exact carbon copy where it's an insufferable
It's like
character.
Cersei?
It's an insufferable character that goes through a crazy arc that you're like, okay, I think we're getting there.
Yeah.
And then makes a decision at the end that you're just like, come
Although,
on.
low-key, most of the time Cersei has reasons for what she's doing.
Yeah.
She's
But
more
it's-
so playing chess, where this chick's like,
I'm just talking about she's
I
not
don't
sleeping
like
with her brother anymore. But yeah.
oh, yeah. Yikes.
But yeah, like, Lady goes through this whole thing where you hate her, and then you're like, dang, she's
like, I
kind of
don't
cool.
mind her.
You love her, and then it just,
Yeah.
it breaks your heart. It breaks your heart.
I just like I don't mind that her and Dante have conflict at first. Like it makes sense.
It makes sense.
But it's just the way that she goes about it.
It is interesting
just
because
like-
you have Dante, who's a well-written, cocky character that's well-liked,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have Lady, who's a cocky character that you hate.
Yeah.
And I
That's true.
don't think it's a gender thing at all.
I don't think so.
I just think she's just like, she's cocky and has nothing to back it up.
Yeah. Right. Cuz I think like my thing with her was like she led her whole team into a trap, got
Yeah.
slaughtered, and was like, not my fault.
She was like, it's the devil's fault.
Yeah. I think like she's just not a good leader.
Yeah,
is
she's a
what
horrible,
it is.
She's a horrible leader. She's such a bad leader.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lady keeps it from a 5-star.
Yeah.
No, it's tough, but I definitely think go watch the show. Go create your own opinion for it.
Yeah.
Maybe you like her, and maybe that's
Maybe you do.
you know. But yeah. Anything else you want to add about Devil May Cry?
Oh, I'm glad that one guy's daughters got into like Harvard or whatever. Yeah.
Rip.
I think he's still alive.
We're gonna head to a quick break, and then we will be back, I believe, for our final segment.
I think so, but it also might be a special episode.
We might do a special episode. Hashiro ranking. I think we're gonna add that as a special episode.
Yeah.
You wanna
So thanks for listening to this
But it's a
first
special
episode.
episode. So we'll just wrap it up here then. So that'll be it for episode 1
Yep.
of Anime Core. If you guys liked it, please tell a friend. Share it with your great aunt. Let your family know about it. And please give us feedback.
And also listen or watch anime. Yeah.
Yeah, biggest thing, watch anime.
Watch anime.
We will be on YouTube, TikTok, all
Oh, I
the
didn't know we were going to TikTok.
all the socials. We're doing all the socials.
Are we doing Facebook?
Yeah, you know what? Screw it.
Honestly,
MySpace,
They might have some
LinkedIn,
good groups.
Skype, everything. But
Skype is funny.
be on the lookout for a special episode later this week where we do our Hashira ranking.
Yeah.
And tell us how wrong we are with our rankings because it is
And-
probably atrocious.
I would also say, since I have the memory of a goldfish, if I said anything incorrect about like the Apothecary Diaries episode, let me know. But anyway, I think our special episode will be kind of flashy.
Okay, that was a bit much. Yeah, thanks for listening, and we will see you guys next week.